Good morning, everybody. It is Haley here. It is actually Monday. I did not go couponing yesterday, and I ended up not getting papers delivered yesterday, so I'm not for sure if there was even coupons yesterday. I think there was, but that's okay. Anyway, so I thought I would show you guys a little bit of how I organize my coupons right now and what I do when I actually get backed up on coupons and newspapers. So I thought I would show you guys that real fast. Yeah. This right here is actually my dining room table. It's not very big. It only fits like 4 people. And when I get a newspaper, if I don't do it that day, which I need to get into the habit of doing it that day, I put it on this table and then I do it later. Those are 2 more weeks of newspapers, and then there's some more in the back. There was actually a lot more when I started, but I ended up just doing them off camera. But I thought I would show you guys kind of how this works. I know I've talked about this before, but I thought I would give you guys, this is like an updated one. That's pretty full actually. So I hit my last one today. Every single week has its own little drop-in folder, and then of course they all have dates on them. You can, when you look at a deal that I post or anybody else posts, they usually put like SS 3-4. That means you can pull out 3-4, look for the smart source inside of 3-4, and then cut it. Some people like to cut the day they get newspapers and then organize them by category. You can do that too, but for me that took a lot longer to do in the beginning and it just wasn't worth it. So actually today, yesterday we did hit the last one that I had in here for $5.20. So what I will do is I'm going to pull all of before January, because it has been 3 months and usually coupons are not good after 3 months no matter what you get. So I will pull all of these out. I will empty them, recycle them, and then refill in all of these actually, and we will get those all filled back in. So I don't have to do this every week. I don't just pull one and refill it. I actually pull a chunk at a time. Usually at the end of the month, I usually pull a month, but of course I haven't done this in a while. And just kind of do them all at once because it's easier for me. But I thought I would show you guys some tips and tricks on getting your newspapers around if you haven't done it in a while like me. This is, of course, the news leader from here. This is local, and it's been wrapped up in the little thing for a while, so that's why it's kind of circled. So let me find the flyers for here, and I'll show you guys a couple little things you need to know about them. A couple ways that you can start out with your newspapers. First thing I like to do is, if you still have the whole newspaper, like this one, this is actually a different one than what we had before. The before one didn't have any coupons in it. You can kind of tear back, look at the date on the physical newspaper, April 15th. Make sure you have one for April 15th, which I do. And then I like to physically pull it out. There's already a couple in here for April 15th, but that's okay. So then we have that pulled out. We know what date this is. Usually they're right in the middle. You can pretty much turn directly to them date-wise. So I just pull, set to the side, and I know there's at least 2 inserts in here. That part is a little easier to know when you do it every week and you're not lazy like I was. And so then 1 insert, 2 inserts, and I just keep looking just in case there's a 3rd. Now every region is different, so your region might have gotten 3, but mine does actually not get that much, so it only got 2. So we've pulled the 2 out of here. This is a trash can that I emptied out the trash beforehand. I put a bag in it, and I am just filling up with newspapers. Then I will dump this into our recycle. This is actually a lot easier to deal with than trying to take your newspapers one at a time, because then you can dump it all at once. So I can take this whole newspaper, excluding those, and dump it in here. And this is what this entire trash can was for. I dumped trash before I did all this. You take these, you know they're the 15th because you looked at the newspaper, but also on the rim of every single print out, coupon insert, whatever you have, no matter where you are, it'll have some information right here on the spine. It's a little hard to see on camera, but right here it says Springfield, Missouri, which is where it was pretty much put to, or Springfield Newsletter was what it was put in. And then on here, you guys can't read it, but right here, which is kind of split off because of the seam, it has a date which says 4/15. That means it was put in the newsletter on $4.15 for that paper. It's just how they organize them. This one is a little easier to see. Right here, it does say $4.15. So if you don't have your whole newspaper and you just have these inserts because you pulled them out beforehand and they got lost, mixed together, whatever, it'll say $4.15. It only says that on the front cover. It won't say it throughout the entire thing. So right there, $4.15. Then I just put them in here. Okay. And then I check to see if I have another one. I know I do. And I do all of that date that I can, and then we put them back in here. So we have all of the newspapers completely done. They're in here in their rightful places, and I did pull out anything from January or before. That is all of these. And what I just simply do, I take all the newspapers that are in here, and I put them in the recycle bin. And then I don't even deal with these right now, and I just go to the next one, and then repeat it for all of these. That's the easiest way for me to cycle them out. I do know there's always a chance that there's 1 or 2 coupons in one of these that is still good. That's good for 5 or 6 months. But for me, it is not worth the hassle of actually keeping all of these for that amount of time. So that's when I just empty them out. Because if you don't do that, this thing gets really, really heavy when it's completely full. Like here's 1 month. This is 128. So you've got a P&G for next month. You've got a ton of things in here. And it can just get extremely heavy. There's all of 1 week. So we've got all of those emptied out. Now, next I will just pull these. I will cut new pieces of paper and I'll just write the dates starting with next week on here, and I'll just put them in. I also do have a receipts, and I have a random coupons one in here. Receipts are for like CVS, since they have extra care bucks on them, and then random coupons are coupons I couldn't use that I already cut out, and I couldn't use them due to them not having the item. Coupons I get sent in the mail, coupons I print out that I think I'll use later, those all go in the random coupon spot. So if I ever can't find a coupon in an insert here, I always look in random coupons, and sometimes it is there. So I do also have those 2 that I do keep kind of just in the back. They never move, they always stay there. And then this one is just a zipper, and I keep supplies in it, like scissors and everything. So one reason I do actually pull these all together is so I can actually count how many there are. There is 6 here. I don't really count them as I go through. So we know we need to make 6 weeks worth of stuff. So when I look on a calendar, I know to go 6 weeks ahead. I have 6 folders. So for me, it kind of makes it a little bit easier just doing 4 to 6 at a time instead of doing 1 per week. This to me, I'd rather just bulk do it. I could pull also from February if I wanted to. I'm not going to, just because I like to keep for 3 months. But at probably mid-June, I will pull from February and get all of those done. And then we'll just have all those. Ooh, this thing actually hasn't updated since my last video on how to do this, but I have figured out a little easier tips and tricks to make it go a lot faster. So as you can tell now, this was yesterday's. We have the next 6 completely done until July 1st. And we'll just leave it like that until we either hit July 1st, or we'll actually probably on the 24th, because it'll be the end of the month, we will pull all of February's, these 4, and we will replace them. So we'll just do this every month. Sometimes I let newspapers pile up just because it's summer here. I'm hot, I'm pregnant, and I am just sometimes extremely lazy. But yeah, that is how I do my coupons. It's very similar to how I've done them in the past. This is actually the same box that I've had for a long time, probably ever since I started this channel. So yeah, these actually last quite a while. We will stick our scissors back in here. And I will put this back in the closet until next week, where I will just get it back down and I'll do the same. But that's actually all I have for this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave those down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Savings Army, never pay retail again, learn to coupon like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!